pull up close. We don't beat around the bush, we meet around the bush. Face it with a grin, let the real talk begin. We don't beat around the bush, we meet around the bush. Come on in, take a seat, now we're bringing heat around the bush. Yeah, we meet around the bush. We meet around the bush.
Welcome back. Today we are introducing a new segment called Down the Bush Hole. We are titling this one Into the Bushel. And today we're kind of going to explore rabbit holes themselves a little bit. So today we are not trying to prove any conspiracy theories, but we are trying to ask a bigger question. How do ordinary people become absolutely certain of extraordinary things? So the first thing that we need to talk about is memory and how that works. So I think a lot of us think that memory is like a video recording that's taking like an exact snapshot and then it's just replaying it later. But the mind is actually more of a storyteller. And so every time your brain is not recalling, it's really reconstructing. So basically something happens. Your brain first decides whether or not it's important. Obviously emotions accompanied with the memory will definitely strengthen it. The hippocampus is going to organize it, and then different parts of the memory like images, sounds, smells, emotions, they're all going to be stored across different brain networks. And then later when you're trying to remember something, your brain rebuilds that from those pieces. So imagine dumping out a box of Legos and rebuilding the same house. You know, there's it's going to be almost identical, but there's times that there will be a few different pieces. Some little Lego parts might have been subbed in because the brain likes a complete story, you know, more than it values
an accurate story.
Yes, historical accuracy. And it's not because you're lying, it's because your brain is rebuilding, not replaying. So so every recall becomes an opportunity to slightly update the memory, and then it's not the old memory that gets filed. What gets refiled is the new memory, and so you're recalling, you know, the different parts of it over and over again. So memory is genuinely pretty reliable. It just isn't perfect. So now we're going to get into a little bit about why the brain does what it does. And we're going to look to Honey for a little evolutionary insight.
Fabulous. Thank you. So I think it's really important to talk about like how we got here today as Homo sapiens. Our nervous system has been growing and changing over actual millions of years. And it began as more of a signaling to the brain that danger is near, right? And it has now grown and changed in modern humans to our prefrontal cortex, right? So very early cousins of us, Homo sapiens, that lived between roughly 6 million to 2 million years ago began branching off of the primate charts.
That was back when I was really young.
They began walking on two legs, and they began using like the earliest form of tools, right? In that time period, their brains started to take in the world from the ground, which was a totally different perspective than they had seen before, right? And to put it simply, our brains learned to keep themselves safe through categories. At the core, at the most basic level of that is things that are safe and things that are unsafe. Mm-hmm. Our brains, still to this day, were then and are now wired at that point to create and then place all of our people and places, things, feelings, and experiences into categories. So it was in this really early stage of human brain development that it was safest to treat everything as a threat until essentially proven otherwise. Which has followed us through to present day. And our brains still really love categories. Our brains still put people, places, things, experiences, and feelings into categories
And
today.
it does very much value, if you are walking in the woods and you see a stick that could be a snake, it's going to prioritize that it could be a snake because...
Right.
I mean,
right.
Because
Safety.
Because we have to prioritize
prioritizing survival.
Exactly. So the most rapid brain expansion began somewhere around 800,000 years ago when the Earth was going through absolutely wild climate fluctuations, right? Forcing our brains into fast track of growth for survival of our species, right? You either had to adapt or you were going to die. Uncertainty around this time could actually mean death, not even just for you, but your family, right? You have those connections. You are, human beings are what is referred to as a tribal species, where we do like to spend some time alone, but we do also really need and have like strong connections with small groups. So it wasn't necessarily about being right per se. Evolution rewarded and grew our species for being able to recognize patterns more easily for safety and in turn, right, our survival. Because most of the time we're making these decisions, these split decisions in a moment where our nervous systems are dysregulated, and that comes with a big dump of cortisol and adrenaline. Those are our stress hormones. It becomes really difficult to transform into long-term memory from short-term memory. So our memory is being rebuilt every time we replay.
Yeah, and then we're just recalling the latest version
Right.
of that memory, which is why, two people can experience the exact same thing. And they're both, like, in essence, telling the truth. But we're going to get two different versions, So now that we're going to talk about what two different versions of something looks like. So Olive is going to go through something that might be maddening for some of us. It might be a fun little thought experiment.
So maddening.
Some of them are. Okay. So Olive, take it away with Mandela Effects.
Yeah, so it's a current thing that everybody's discussing right now, whether you're on Facebook, TikTok, Google, anywhere. We're all experiencing these for the first time. It's very interesting. I know one of the main ones is Fruit of the Loom not having a cornucopia. I remember getting packs of Fruit of the Loom, whatever it was, whether it's
I definitely
Yeah.
commercials,
like it was
Yep.
everywhere.
Yeah.
What's actually crazy for me is when we're talking about how emotion and things like that, like there are core memories. And when we're learning something new for the first time, we're going to hold that memory, right? Like, is it important? It is when we're learning something for the first time. And what's crazy for me is the reason why this one is so maddening for me is because it was the Fruit of the Loom cornucopia on the tag of my dad's shirt that he wore under his work shirt, where I was like, what is that? That logo is where I learned what a cornucopia was.
I feel like that's for most of us who
I
grew
really
up in like
never-
the 80s and 90s. Like,
Yeah.
we're
That's
like,
where I
what is
saw
that?
it. That's where I saw it for the first time. And I was like, because I remember seeing it there and then seeing it in like maybe my grandma's house of like some kind of little basket thing. It's like, what is this thing that's on your tag?
Right.
It's like, oh, it's a cornucopia. It's like, oh, I didn't even know what it was until I saw the logo.
Right.
I think what's so interesting about all of these controversial Mandela effects, because not everybody remembers them that way. I think what's so interesting is how our brain, like something so simple as that, hearing a new version of it literally stops you dead in your tracks. Like, nope, absolutely not. That is not what is. No, it just didn't happen. And it's like, why? Was I really sitting around looking at cornucopias? No, I wasn't. But my brain knows that was not a thing. Same with the Bernstein Bears. And now it's the Bernstein Bears. No, thank you. That's not. It doesn't even sound right.
Yeah, I heard Berenstein. So some of these could be the fact that, especially the younger, like, kind of my theory with this is like the younger we were, the less like we were new at reading. So it's like some I feel like are possible that like maybe we read it wrong and that's just how we pronounced it. Yeah, like maybe we pronounced it incorrectly. Maybe it was Berenstain Bears and we all said Berenstein. I don't know.
Okay, I don't think so, because I can actually see the books.
Right.
I had the books.
I feel like I can too. Yeah.
I can see the E. I don't see the A. Like,
Babe, we were just talking about how our memory
visually-
cannot always be reliable.
Yeah, and that's
too.
the crazy.
That's the piece.
That's why we.
I think
That's why we
my thing
preface
is though,
this.
like, across the country, right, we all have different like kind of dialects of talking depending on where you're from, right? So like I could see potentially one part of the country pronouncing it as like Berenstein versus like Berenstein,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But for all of us to collectively say
Yes.
it was this way and it was not this way,
Yes.
how are you going to like fight
Still
the
do
majority
it.
of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I understand what we're saying is like memory is subjective, right? We all kind of have a perspective lens that it goes through and like refilters it. And though, like, if there's enough people saying the same thing, why are we fighting it?
This is my question about all these Mandela effects. So the thing is, it's like, what's the next one on your list, Olive?
Mr. Rogers.
Okay.
Sorry, what about Mr. Rogers?
Yeah. Let's do it.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. The one that has surfaced recently is it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Absolutely not.
If it did, I will
Wrong.
say this
No.
one doesn't prove my point as well, but it maybe it does.
Would you like another example?
No, it's okay. We can get it. The point is, like, we're not going, oh, I remember it this way. There's not a million different versions. There really seems to just be two.
One or the other.
Right.
It's literally one or the other. And I feel like if we were recalling things and swapping out Legos, we would have more missing pieces.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the piece that gets me about Mandela Effects is it's one or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
There's two options.
yes, there's
Right.
we're all divided in one side and another. And I feel like if it was just, oh, we're just remembering these things kind of incorrectly, then I feel like we would have remembered it.
Other versions.
Yeah, there would be
Right.
so many
Right,
different
there'd be
versions.
other alternative versions.
So
of
if
it,
you
right?
listeners out there have a different version than what we're laying out, please comment.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be very interesting because, yeah, there really is most of these. Like, I have
are split down the middle,
It's
50-50,
just two.
right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
two. And here's my, okay, so speaking of rabbit holes and conspiracy theories, I have a theory on this, right? I think the government does sometimes wonky things, like potentially splitting two different commercials with two different things on it just to see some
Which one
sort of
sticks?
yeah, right? So like I really do like there's a thought process in me that says potentially it could be that sometimes you saw this one commercial with cornucopias, sometimes you saw this other commercial and tags without cornucopias, and it could be a weird little government like little study potentially just to like I don't know what the case like marketing numbers whatever they were trying to find. I don't presume to know what wonkiness our government wants to know from us. Bad. Anywho, but there was a strong part of me that's like the government could be putting these Mandela effects out here to act as a kind
Social
of like
experiment.
social experiment. And if we're distracted
gaslight
fighting
for fun.
over
Yeah.
Oh, it's divide and
mandalas-
conquer, like
Right.
it always is.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit, but think about it. Like, if we're fighting over mandala effects, right? And like, this one's this way, this one's this way, we're distracted, right?
Yep.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
not seeing maybe all the other things that are happening.
I think that
and it's like a
yeah.
smoke show. It's a
Yeah.
smoke show.
I
It
do,
is a
and I
smoke
think
show.
two things can be
Government.
true. I think that can be taking place, but I also have questions if it is divided one or the other. Like, if they were so in this, it would have to be there's no cornucopia on clothes
Right.
because if people still had that, it would surface and nobody can find things as they are.
I have
Yeah.
like a slightly more. You went macro. I have a slightly more micro version of that. I would imagine in, like production for Fruit of the Loom, it would be expensive to do tiny little cornucopias every single time you're printing off. Right? It's not just some fruit. It's like a tiny cornucopia that you're trying to put on a tag.
yeah.
And so they pulled it from production, and they're gaslighting all of us.
They're like, there was no such thing ever.
But then what happens to everything?
Also, Fruit of the Loom.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm on
Where
board.
is all the
and that's
stuff
why I'm
then?
saying that's where the government has to come in because they have to rip all that shit off the shelves, make sure that nothing.
But somebody
an
would have found
outlier.
it in their house.
Okay, but hear me
government
now.
is-
Hear me now.
is choosing our fashion.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Don't tell
That's
Honey
what I'm
that.
saying. I
Don't
know.
tell Honey that.
But there are people, right, who back in the day they would record shows on VHS, right?
Yes.
And to this day they have been able to play back those commercials with the fucking cornucopias in them in the commercial from 1993 recording of, Shazam or whatever the fuck,
I didn't know that. So you're actually saying
There are things that
Yes.
are proving these
Yes.
there are
are
things
wrong.
that
Yes.
Oh.
That the new one is wrong.
See,
Right.
I did not know that.
But now we are being
Like
gaslighted.
Tinkerbell.
Yes. Yes.
Tinkerbell being the
I know that
introduction in
happened.
Disney
I
movies.
remember. And see, the Tinkerbell one is a perfect example because when we were talking about this, yes, we briefly talked about Mandela Effects before we recorded this, and we were all said at the same time, the little with the eye. We all
Yes.
remember
Yep.
the eye.
The eye.
She
Yeah.
So-
used her
The little
wand.
ding.
Yeah. Olive, go ahead and explain this Mandela Effect in case people don't know about the Tinkerbell one.
Like when it starts with like the Disney castle, it says Disney across the screen, but the little shooting star that goes above Disney, Tinkerbell does, and then she dots the eye with her little wand.
Yeah, and that's something that we
Like, she
all
draws
said at the
both.
same time.
Yeah.
She draws both.
We all said that at the same
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
The little eye.
Yep.
There's only two. It's either not there or it's there.
Tinkerbell
Yeah.
has a wand?
Are you
What?
fucking kidding me?
Yes.
Are you?
She at least did at this
Uncultured?
juncture.
I think so.
She definitely did.
No,
Babe,
like
my tattoo of Tinkerbell has a fucking wand because I based it off this fucking premise.
Yes.
You are uncultured swine. I need you to leave this room.
she doesn't have a wand in the movies.
No, I don't
no,
think
that's
so.
not the point.
She's
Okay, that's
not
what I
a
was referring
magician.
to.
Okay.
But
Show your
in-
titties.
I was a little aggressive there.
Yeah, you
In
were.
the moment. All right. You guys are hugging. It's cool. In the moments before the movie started,
Yes, the intro of like the Disney movie. This,
Yeah,
the
I remember
it has
that
the- You
piece.
you guys can hear the music, right? I can literally
Yeah,
hear the
yeah,
music
yeah,
in my
yeah.
brain. And then she flies over,
It's
and
like
then she does
shimmery.
the ding, and the little,
Why
eye,
did they give her a wand for that?
because
well,
she had to do the
draw
little ding.
Can't
Yeah.
she just? Can't you
You're
just?
questioning it too much, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
All right, I
question
have
it
a
that
few
much.
more that are very maddening.
Don't question it.
And again, I just have to say this. So we all remember it one way or another way.
Yes.
And that
Yeah.
does give validity to this. If it
Well,
was,
to be fair, Honey isn't saying she doesn't remember it that
I'm not
way.
talking. I'm just talking in general.
Yeah.
I'm just saying in general with any Mandela effect, it's we remember one way or we remember another way.
Yeah.
Every Mandela effect is we remember it this way or, this way.
right.
You're on one side, and I feel like if it truly was memory recall default
There would be several different
versions, yes,
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, what's
Yes.
the keep
All right,
going?
I'm
Olive,
just going to
sorry.
do a quick list of them, and then we can talk about the ones that are the most maddening to each of us. This one really hits home for me because this was one of my all-time favorite shows as a kid. I had the puppet. I had all the things. I went around singing this all the time, and on road trips, that was literally what we would sing because the road trip never ended. But Lamb Chop, this is the song that never ends. The new one is This is the song that doesn't end. Another one is Monopoly. The Monopoly Man not having a monocle. He definitely did.
See, I wonder sometimes if somebody wants to pull out their phone and look while we're doing this, I'd be curious if the peanut guy was around the same time, and maybe we saw the peanut guy who looks a lot like the Monopoly guy.
Yeah, who does have a monocle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking more because yes, two they were around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking potentially people got confused with Monopoly Man and KFC Man.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
a lot of
But he
monocles.
doesn't
The
have a
Colonel-
monocle.
the Colonel doesn't have a monocle.
KFC man, no monocle.
He's got glasses. In my brain, it said glasses.
Got
and
it.
monocles
I wonder
at
if
the
it's
same
more
time.
of like a like a media portrayal kind of thing, right? Like
and-
an old rich man with a monocle.
I mean, it very much was rich Southern. You know,
Yeah.
television,
Yeah,
you
top
Don't get me
hat.
wrong, and I'm picturing it in my head, and I can literally see him right on the box with his little monocle,
I can
almost
though.
like with
That's
his
what
little
I'm saying.
judgy
yes,
eye.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I don't
See,
think
this
I'm
one doesn't
wrong.
affect me. I
No,
don't-
he had
I
like
don't
his
recall a
hand
monocle.
on the monocle.
Yeah, like doing this,
Mhm.
right? Like kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
potentially,
See, we
was he
remember it the
actually
same
holding
way.
a monocle though, or was he just cupping his eye? And we were like, "That's a monocle."
Well, the question would be, what's he doing right now?
What
like,
is
He
what do they
has
say
his
now?
hand on his hat.
Yes, it's like a beep, beep, like a top hat bow.
Yeah. See, it's
Yeah.
just mind blowing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which
All
I
right.
don't like.
Rose and I don't like this one. Mirror, mirror on the wall, or magic mirror on that wall.
On that wall?
Yeah.
On that.
Garbage
Wall.
trash.
I don't like that.
It is mirror, mirror
like
on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all?
Mm-hmm. I don't even like that
Doesn't
movie.
even rhyme
But I know
the
that
other
that's-
way.
Yeah, exactly. There's no flow. There's no rhyme. You know for a fact, Walt Disney would never stand behind that. He would have been
Absolutely
like, "That's
not.
trash. That's garbage."
I
I'm also a
actually-
racist, anti-Semitic, but like that's
I
for
also
another day.
think Magic Mirror does sound better than Mirror Mirror.
You can get the fuck out of here.
No,
I do
I,
think-
I
Absolutely not.
actually, I'm
no,
taking.
the both of
It
you. I
sounds
will
more
burn you
creative.
down.
Magic Mirror on the wall. Or
No, that
mirror,
sounds like
mirror.
trash.
Why is it so nice we say it twice? I don't think I'm not behind that.
Yeah,
I-
well,
I
also
do-
think-
rhymes, though.
Look,
Yes.
my whole
It
life I
sounds-
have said mirror, mirror on the wall.
Yeah,
I'm
because
not
that's the
saying that I
correct way.
disagree. I'm saying I do believe that if we could go back and change it. I think somebody just said, this is dumb. Let's go back and change it. Let's get with the guys at CERN. Let's smash some particles.
No,
Let's
no,
open some
no.
portals.
No,
Nothing
I don't
place.
think so.
It doesn't
No.
rhyme with fairest of them all.
No,
Right.
it does, because you would say, I'm only questioning the mirror, the second mirror part. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Or magic mirror on the wall,
That
who's the
sounds
fairest
fucking
of them
dumb
all?
as shit.
No, don't like it.
Yeah.
Why double mirror?
I don't
Mirror,
know, it
mirror.
just
It just
sounds better.
Is
you-
its name?
It sounds like you're summoning the mirror opposed to just being like, yo, magic mirror.
right? Be my bitch.
Are you
What's on the
summoning
wall?
mirror? I probably should have seen
You
the
are
movie.
summoning the mirror.
Oh no! If you have not seen
I
said
can't
movie,
comment.
you can't comment on this,
Nope,
right?
nope.
Well, I'm looking at this
Get out.
strictly.
No,
You're
get out.
summoning it.
Get out.
Yeah.
You're making the mirror talk to you.
Yes.
I
Oh.
It's
really,
like a
really
magic
Do you like getting its
incantation.
attention? Mirror.
Yeah, it's like a
Mirror.
spell.
Yes.
It's like
So
a-
that's
okay.
why it doesn't make sense to address
I
the
wish
mirror
everybody
Right.
could see Honey's
opposed to
faces.
summon it.
She's like scrunching.
No, yeah, I think this
Yeah.
is part of like what happens when you're around society. Like somebody was like, yeah, it sounds better if we say mirror, mirror. And then we all started saying mirror, mirror.
No, the correct way was to say mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's
It's
the
like,
fairest
what
of them
memory
all?
are we recalling, though? That
Somebody-
makes you question. What memory are we recalling? Are we recalling literally the moment we watched the movie for the first time? Or are we recalling the first time somebody said mirror, mirror on accident, and then we all started saying
Listen,
that?
I am recalling the golden little fucking books we used to read back in the days. You fucking bitch.
Oh yeah, they had the shimmery pages.
I did, yes.
It was
It was
in
a shimmery
inked
spine.
word.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
and the pages were
Oh.
shimmery on
Yes, on the edges.
They were on the edges.
My books were about my rock collections.
Yeah, y'all had money.
No, those were cheap books.
Yeah, they were actually pretty cheap. I'm not sure where our socioeconomic status is coming from here,
Yeah,
friends, but
You got books with the golden edges? Shit.
you got them little gold books? Oh,
yeah.
all right.
I distinctly remember getting
I
excited
should
over
definitely see if my mom still has
That's
them.
bonfires. All right, we didn't
All
have
right.
books.
We have
Yeah, books. I can't.
just a
Any
couple
more?
more.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
The music video of "Oops, I Did It Again" by Britney Spears. She did or did not have a microphone.
She did. She
She
absolutely,
absolutely
did.
did. She had
I
the
did
one that
not-
hooks around her little ear
Mhm.
and had the little
Mouthpiece coming
puffball
up. Yep,
mouse.
It was
mouthpiece.
iconic. It was iconic.
Yes.
With the hair and the outfit.
there
Ooh.
was costumes.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
There were Barbies. There were
a music video that somehow magically got changed.
Yeah.
I don't know, government.
She
I
absolutely.
wasn't a
had it.
Britney fan at all, and I didn't listen to such
Oh,
things.
oops! I did it again.
So, but I
Oops,
do.
I did it again. And
I
again
do
and
recall
again.
it with the headset.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
was a
Did she
headset.
wait? Because I don't know. I feel like I remember her like brushing her hair behind the ear with the
with the mic.
Yeah.
Yes.
at one
Mhm.
point,
Yes.
like
Mhm.
before
like
she.
purpose, yes, like very obviously she had a mic.
Yeah.
Is this, we're talking about, this is the iconic song where she's in like that red.
Yes,
Yeah,
school.
yes.
leather.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Red leather.
Or like latex.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
like
Not
latex.
leather. It was like shiny latex.
Shiny,
Yeah, shiny latex.
Yep. Okay, and then this last
love you,
one
Brittany.
will end my portion of the Mandela Effects. This is the one that just popped up. Some people may or may not be saying it popped up because CERN turned off the
The Large Hadron Collider.
so who knows? But this one popped up and it's from Bewitched when Samantha wiggled her nose and now it's her mouth.
Shameful.
It's absolutely not correct.
I stand by it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Her daughter
Her daughter it's like a main point of the show as like her daughter as a kid, because she couldn't wiggle her nose to do the magic. She had to take her fucking finger and wiggle her own goddamn
Yep.
nose to make the magic happen.
Yep.
I mean, you have to
Fight
wiggle
me.
your
You're gonna
mouth.
fight. I'm gonna fight you on this.
You
I'm gonna
have
fight you
to
on this.
wiggle your mouth to wiggle your nose at all. And I do
Okay,
remember
I'm not
her.
saying we're not saying she didn't do a mouth
No, I
wiggle.
know.
We're just saying she prefaced it with a nose scrunch and wiggle,
Here's
and then did the little mouth.
The new
thing.
one is there is literally
There's
no wiggle of the nose.
It's just a mouth
just
thing.
The mouth.
I mean, we're still calling it a nose wiggle. They are still
it's
calling it
for
a nose.
shame because they're wrong and they're bad.
But here's what
That's
I'm gonna
not
say.
a nose wiggle.
Here's what I'm gonna say.
Go
I
on.
did grow up watching this show, so I do
I
know
did as
about this
well.
one. I did love this
Loved
one.
Yeah,
this.
Love this.
She
side
owed
show.
as hail.
I could not.
Listen.
I didn't listen. I didn't watch it when it was new.
Right.
Asshole.
Oh,
we
yeah,
weren't there
right.
when it originally came out.
I loved
so you
all the
were
witchy
there
shows.
between 6 million and 2 million years ago,
Yeah.
but
Absolutely.
not for all right, yeah.
Reincarnation, babe. Anyways, so
Many lives, many moons.
no,
Anywho.
but what I'm saying
Everything's
is
fine.
what I do remember is as a kid, I remember that whatever she did with her nose, I'm not going to say I don't really recall exactly what it looked like, but whatever she did with her nose,
The nose
I
crinkle.
could not recreate.
no, I could
What
not.
she
I tried
does
so hard.
What she does now, everybody can do.
Yeah,
Correct.
Because they dumbed it down and simplified it for the dodo brains.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Shame on you all.
Yeah.
You ruin fun things for everyone.
Yeah.
Just because you
That's why we
can't do
have-
it doesn't mean
This is why
we
we
have
have
to
to
change
change.
the show.
Right? That's what I'm saying, though.
Because what was her daughter's name? Tabitha?
I think it was Tabitha.
Tabitha showed everybody how they could do it.
Yep. Yep.
Like, why can't you just take your little finger and put it on your nose and
Right.
wiggle it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you
I
can
remember
pretend
being
you're doing
impressed. We
magic.
were impressed with what she could do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But was it just
had
because we
a
were too
lasting
little?
effect.
Did we just not have the dexterity at the
That's
time? And-
literally what I was thinking. Thank you
yeah,
for bringing
and
that up.
now it's just like,
Right.
oh, we can do this because our bodies have evolved and we have.
No, because they
facial
took out the
flexibility.
nose crinkle
Yeah, they
part.
took it out.
Yeah, there's no more nose crinkle.
So
All
it went
right.
the other way.
Yeah,
Nah,
they
I know
dumbed
I-
it down.
Are
We
there
were
any?
more spiritual?
Are there any more? Was that the last one?
That's our last one.
That's our last Mandela
That's all I
effect.
got.
Okay, cool. Moving on to the next section. Rose?
All right. So we explored some things with the mandalas, and we had some strong opinions.
We
We all
We?
had strong opinions,
Right.
honey?
Mhm.
All of us
no.
in
Yep.
this podcast have strong opinions because we are strong-willed, whimsical bitches. And
Okay, you got me there.
I got you there, right?
I concede.
Knapsack.
We've been knapsacked. So with looking at that though, because we got very rigid and like this was not this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying there's not a time and place for having like conviction on things. That being said, I do think there's a time where we do have to question some of that rigidity. Like, why are we so rigid? Like even ourselves, like, why were we so rigid in thinking it was this certain way, right? And it could not be any other certain way, right?
Sometimes
So,
that's true.
and sometimes that is true, right? Sometimes it just is the way that it is. And there is that rigidity. And why do we still not question that, though? Even if it is the way that it is. If it is what it is, why question that? Why is it the way that it is?
Yeah.
Why do we not question it more?
Yeah, we need to question everything.
That's what I'm saying,
I
right?
think
Sometimes-
history, if we look back at history has proven that time and time again.
Is not always safe for
That
women
yeah.
and or people of color.
Or certain religions.
Certain religion.
Or,
I mean,
Yeah.
depending on
there's so much.
to be very fair, it has encompassed everyone at some point or another throughout history.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right, and that kind of goes back to our brains liking to put
Yeah.
we want to put things in categories.
Categories and
right?
labels because that
If
makes
it
us
is
feel safe.
different
Mhm.
than me,
Must be dangerous. Must kill.
it has to be dangerous until proven otherwise.
Mhm.
Right?
And usually we prove it by killing and mass colonization.
Yes. Yes.
And
We use the term
genocide.
"we" very broadly
Yeah,
here because
very,
it has
very
happened.
broadly. Very broadly. I have not directly, but perhaps my descendants can't say
Right.
factually for sure that they have not.
Right.
And with my genetic makeup, factually for sure, probably have done some fuck shit.
So what?
Bad,
What's,
bad ancestors.
What's
for
a
shame.
what's an area where questioning the mainstream idea of how things are has been a good thing in history?
You know what? I'm so glad you asked that, Scarlett. That's a fantastic question.
Oh, thanks.
For at least personally, right? POV, Rose. I think questioning things like gender bias, gender norms, that was something that needed to happen. that was something that needed to fuel growth on our end and, supply the suffragette movement, right? And like give us voting rights and give us the civil rights movement and give people of color rights. Debatable if they actually still have same rights as well as for genders, but that's probably a podcast for another day.
Yep.
Anywho, but things like that, rabbit holes like that, conditions and stereotypes and biases like that, those should be questioned.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Even if we think they're factual, they should be questioned, especially if they are contributing to a harmful reaction
Yeah.
to others.
Yep. I
And
agree.
Like, that's a big thing for me. Like, if it is creating harm or a harmful environment, it is creating psychological or like mental stress and duress, like that should be questioned. And if it's not, why are we not? Is it the fear mongering? Is it the propaganda at the time? Like, there's a lot of factors that go into why people feel like they can't question something.
I think literally sometimes it just is the scary face that going against mainstream. And I mean, we could
Well, I mean,
we
you
could
look at-
definitely deep dive into evolution and why we didn't want to be on the outside of the village. But another good example is UAPs. This is something that people for decades have claimed was true. We had so many different incidences. But honestly, byproduct of that is because so many people did come out and they were labeled as crazy, hoaxers, which I'm not saying that there weren't plenty of people that were trying to get attention, but there were a lot of people that were telling the truth about what they saw. So now, fast forwarding all this time, we know now for a fact UAPs exist. This doesn't say what they are, whose technology it is. We just know that they exist.
Did you explain what a UAP is, babe?
No. So it's an unidentified, flying object. UAP, unidentified aerial
One
phenomenon.
might say
Sorry.
UFO,
Yeah,
but
UFO.
UAP sounds cooler, I suppose.
UAP
maybe?
is what they're calling them now.
Yeah.
And I wonder also if that's
The
a little bit of
PC term.
gaslighting. Let's call it something different because no, UFOs don't exist, but UAPs do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an instance where, it's good to look at like, hey, I always say, you can explain 100 things away, but you can't explain that you had to explain 100 things away. And that in itself is like, yeah, like if I'm living next door to a serial killer, I'm like, oh, he has the same car. But a lot of people do. Oh, it's weird. He has like the same hair and the same car. But a lot of people have that too. Like eventually there comes a point where it's like you have to explain 50 things away. That's a lot.
Right.
I think UAPs hit that a long time ago. Like there are things out there that are like that right now. It'd be interesting to go down that bush hole one day, and maybe we'll look down some of those.
Yeah, I think as far as categories go, because there have been some very unsavory, maybe that's not the right word, some crazies that have claimed some wild things that sort of tainted the view for everybody.
Yeah.
And I also
Baby
don't think the
bathwash?
government was ready to talk about it yet. So they sort of used
clearly
that to
they
their
were not.
Yeah, they used that to their advantage. Like, see, these 5 people are definitely crazy, so you can't believe anything anybody said about this
Right.
at
Maybe
all.
their memory swapped out too many Legos.
Maybe that alien
Perhaps,
probe
but
just
there's
really
been-
muddled the brain.
Yeah, there's been a lot of UFO sightings or UAP sightings that people all across like a geographical location saw together.
Yes, absolutely.
Explain that, government.
Maybe the Cody Fingers aliens, we'll call them, maybe they can impact what we see, and maybe they implanted a crazy ass memory into the human being just so people would think that they're crazy.
Like glamoring,
Yeah.
Gotta
like
tell you-
vampires.
Yeah, maybe they just were
a
like,
special interest of ours.
all right, on your way out, right? Like the Men in Black. Ba-doop. Okay, so
Oh yeah, they just
today,
like memory wash you.
Yeah. yeah,
You know,
All right.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Kind of like Schrodinger's cat. Like, you're both
yeah.
not
Yeah,
wrong
we don't know,
and not
right?
It's
right.
both dead
I have-
and alive.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So now we've discussed things. Now, what happens when certainty goes too far?
Mass hysteria.
Yes.
Yes,
pretty
and
Full stop.
right, full stop. Just there. Mass hysteria.
That's true.
Just end of world, end of days.
We're so suggestive as humans, aren't we?
I mean, we are. Like, I mean, we're easily, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us are easily suggestible, right? And when we do become easily suggestible and we stop questioning things and we become more, again, rigid in that like concrete, it has to be this, right? We do sometimes, historically speaking, take things a little too far. A smidge, one might say.
One might say.
One might say.
Oh.
A couple
There's only like
examples.
a trillion.
Yeah, like a trillion examples. But
Entire bloodlines wiped out.
Just gone. Entire bloodlines of animals, humans, plants, like just gone, right? Which is, again, wild. Probably another topic for another day. But specifically for this, like what I'm looking at is like the Salem witch trials or the Satanic Panic of like the 1980s, which was not the first Satan panic, just so we're clear, but it was probably the most relevant that most of our listeners would be aware of. But both those things, right? That was where our beliefs really became so rigid of like, this is witchcraft. This is Satan.
I think it might have been rigid
devil
beliefs that
worshipping.
people already had that made it so much
Yes.
easier to hold those.
Yeah. And you have to think there were a lot of societal factors also that contributes to that, right? Like in both scenarios, Salem witch trials, Satan panic of the 80s, and thereforth in the histories, both of them were rooted in very, strict religious beliefs, strict pressures of patriarchy. The certainty, right? The certainty of
This
this
is how it
religious
is.
belief, this certainty of this patriarchal society. And then when things or people did not fit that norm, witchcraft, devil worshiper.
I actually have a really interesting. I have 2 comments on this. So the first one with the Salem witch trials. On the other end of the spectrum, because truly they thought in that moment it was panic, right?
Yeah, it was mass hysteria.
And
Absolutely.
they genuinely at the time thought they were doing what the Lord wanted them to do, right? They thought they were saving their communities.
I
also
want to argue
wonder-
that a
this
little
is the
bit,
two
though.
things
I
can
want
be
to argue
true.
that, and this is Schrodinger's cat. I do 2 things. Schrodinger's got you. I do want to argue that, though, because
Schrodinger's
I do
cat
think,
is dead now. So you know.
Is it though?
It's been a long time. He's definitely dead.
Conspiracy theory number 57. Anywho, but what I want to challenge a little bit there is I think you are in a sense right in the fact that I think most of the layman people, right, not people in power, were well intentioned in this belief of like, these are, evil spirits, witchcraft. However, though, I think the higher up patriarchy, men of the situation, the judges, the people, overruling, doing these witchcraft, genocides. I want to say genocides, but the
trials and the
yes,
killings.
yes, thank you. That to me, I do think they had a certain level of awareness that not all of this was actually witchcraft and demons, and they used this to their advantage to make strategic ploys of getting land, of getting rid of and putting fear and propaganda into women who were not conforming to society of that time, right? Because you look at Salem witch trials, most of them, not all, some were men, but most of them were women who were not of the norm or not conforming to the norm of society.
I'd have been burned for sure.
No, 100%. We
Same.
all would have been
Truly
burned.
believe that I was.
Yeah, no.
Yikes.
I think perhaps was actually burned. But anywho,
Yes.
reincarnation. But you look at those things, right? Like those that to me, those people had more of an awareness of what was going on.
Okay. Yes, I hear you, and that makes perfect sense to me. I also think on the other side of the coin here, right on the other end of the spectrum, that people were the people that were fear mongering, right, and pointing out and saying this person is a witch, right? They're the ones bringing it to other people's attention. I wonder if that was less about being, good or evil to their communities, and it was more about gaining approval.
Oh, absolutely.
Because humans have done that for forever
right.
and always.
Well,
We're
again,
still
this
doing
is
it.
survival,
Well, we are.
right?
We are
If you're
still
not
doing it.
with the major
No,
kind
it
of
goes,
conforming,
it goes past
you were
the
going to die.
survival. It goes past the survival piece. It goes into like your self-esteem and who you are for your community.
Well, status, right?
Yeah, it's the status.
Yeah.
Status,
And I mean, that
ego.
was,
So I
again,
wonder
that
if-
was very
I
important.
truly
in a
believe the witch just
patriarchy.
changes.
Absolutely. No, that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
we repeat
That's
the
what I'm
same
saying.
footsteps.
Yes, we repeat the same thing, just
It's not
sub
the-
out which
It's
for...
not the same, but it rhymes.
Which
Yes.
is which?
We
Right.
also you were also talking about the Satanic Panic,
Mhm.
and we had 2, at least in my there was the Satanic Panic of the 80s.
Yeah.
In my recollection, there was one in the late 90s around Pokemon.
Yeah, remember that Pokemon, Digimon, like
Yes, and then there
Yu-Gi-Oh,
was
all that shit, and they were like, "It's the devil!"
Right. Then there was another one that happened around, I don't know, 2012, 13 maybe. I might be wrong, but somewhere in the 2010s around the Monster energy drinks being satanic.
Oh, I
Oh, I
forgot
do
about
remember
that.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I wonder if the
and
reason
how the cans were like
Yes.
sixes.
Yep.
it-
666.
some sort of runes or something.
How
and it
many
added up to
people thought
666.
that the COVID vaccinations, they were injecting us with like the mark of the beast? That was like a
Oh,
big
yeah, I
thing
did
that was
hear
going
that.
around
Yeah.
too.
So I think from
And nobody
that
bothers to
time
fact
period-
check.
Right. No one questioned it. Right. We were just
Yes.
like, okay.
Yeah, definitely it is.
Okay, but when you are certain, it doesn't matter how much fact checking
True.
you're doing.
That's
True.
because it's
Can't
that
change your mind.
confirmation bias.
It
It's
is
like if I
confirmation
hold an
bias.
opinion that I truly believe that this is coming for me, and again, we're not knocking religion or anything.
No.
But like, if you do believe that something is going to happen, then everything that is in that category, if you see something, you're not as likely to check it. Like me, I
Right.
fact check everything. A lot of those things that were on Facebook, they were just created
Yeah.
out of thin air as a lie.
Right. But I do think a lot of people are ingrained to not fact check certain things.
Yes.
You're not supposed to question religion. You're not supposed to question the government or the patriarchy.
Well, if it
or the
agrees with what you're
culture.
doing, right?
Hmm?
If it's in agreement with what you're doing, you say, "Oh my gosh, this thing confirms that it is confirmation
right,
bias at its
absolutely.
core."
Sometimes it can confirm another way too. But the thing is that history rhymes, and we do just kind of change what the witches look like.
Right.
We have a different witch to burn at the stake all the time, but reality kind of stays the same. There's a group of people that believe this way. There's a group of people that believe this way. These people just want to be. These people can't let them be because it's uncomfortable to them. So they rage out against who they are. And then at the end of the day, there are people that are either truly certain that this class of people should be segregated or that it's wrong. Then there are the people who are on the fence but don't want to be. Because I guarantee you there were people during the witch trials that felt terrible that these people
yeah.
were like, I know they're not, but they did not speak out. There's the people that can't speak
look
out.
at the people who did speak out. They were also then put on trial and
Yeah.
done horrific actions towards. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Look
taught
what
through
happens.
fear-based to not question things.
The UAPs are a really good example of what happens when people have a safe place to be a whistleblower.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that's changing people's minds right now is not the farmer out in Kentucky who has
Right.
crap in his crop.
Yeah.
What's changing are these military personnel.
Right.
And the higher up it goes, the more we're like, oh my gosh, but in reality was,
Right, I mean-
Stan less believable than,
Right,
The ones
that
that
goes
actually
back
saw
to status.
I mean,
right?
and I
Like,
get it,
that's
yeah.
what you
To status,
find credible,
And it goes back to categories.
Yes.
There's certain
Yep.
categories
Right,
that make
that
it. Yeah,
become
I do
more
think
credible
that
or
we're,
less credible
we're
in your
entering
mind.
into a really new sort of version of this. Especially, I think we saw it first with like the Pokemon, right? With the Satanic Panic.
D&D, like
All of these things are being like. People are allowed to have opinions about it on the internet. If it happened in a small town in Kentucky, right, before the internet, you might have, the
local
newspaper or
tabloids,
something.
yeah.
Right. but
Yeah.
it's not going worldwide.
right.
And now you have people calling out like, like with the Monster energy drinks, I think they got so much negative backlash on how dumb that was that they had no choice to sort of but to back down because
Right.
like we care about our view.
Right. I mean, there is power in the collective, right?
Absolutely.
And it can be used for good or bad.
Yeah, a little
depending
shame
on-
can go a long way. That's all I'm saying. A little
Right.
shame,
Yeah.
a little,
a little murder,
Oh,
Oh, all right.
all right. On that note,
a little anarchy. I don't know.
So
A little witch trial. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, a little witchcraft.
So maybe the goal isn't to stop asking questions. Actually, maybe the goal is to ask better questions.
yes, yes.
And if we could really focus and raise some awareness, because that's what we do around the bush, right? Just have awareness around here's what I think, here's what I know, here's what I wonder. And maybe the healthiest rabbit hole isn't the one that ends with certainty, but it's the one that ends with enough curiosity to just keep learning. And
love
then,
it.
genuine curiosity and check your biases.
Yes.
Biases.
Mindful awareness.
Yes.
Yeah. we can all just remember that memories aren't perfect,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
And to question everything.
Yes. Question everything. Don't take anything for the status quo. Don't let anyone tell you it's not a conspiracy theory or it's not real.
Make up your own mind.
And if you
Yes.
find yourself on the business end of judging to a very harmful point of human beings, we need to question that even more. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love it.
Yeah, bye.